In the depths of the oceans, there was a vast world unknown to anyone. This world was filled with singing dolphins, dancing jellyfish, and schools of rainbow-colored fish. Even deeper, there was a magnificent underwater kingdom. The kingdom was ruled by the King of the Seas, who lived in the underwater palace with his mother and 3 daughters. The king's youngest daughter, Aria, was different from the other mermaids. She sang beautifully and designed wonderful jewelry for herself. While the other girls were happy living in the palace, it was never enough for Aria. She constantly wished to reach the ocean's surface and dreamed of the world above the water. She was curious about people who walked on land and longed to taste food, watch views, and cuddle cute animals above the sea. When she told her grandmother about her thoughts, she said, "You may rise to the surface when you wear your coming-of-age crown like your sisters." She also always warned her to be cautious about the people above the sea, because those people polluted the seas and harmed underwater life with the careless trash they threw. One day when Aria surfaced again, she saw a large ship. The ship's captain was a handsome prince who played the flute beautifully. When Aria heard the flute sound, she closed her eyes for a moment and softly hummed a song. When the prince heard the faint sound, he stopped playing the flute and looked around. Aria was so embarrassed that she immediately dove underwater to avoid being seen by the prince. The sea witch, who watched everything through her crystal globe, burst into laughter. "So the daughter of the Sea King, Aria, likes a human, does she?" she muttered. This witch, once banished from the kingdom, began plotting to harm Aria as revenge against the king. At that moment, lightning struck the sky, a storm began, and the waves grew enormous. The prince, captain of the ship, was in panic. Meanwhile, the witch kept laughing at everything that was happening. After a while, the giant waves sank the prince's large ship. Aria panicked when she noticed pieces of the ship sinking to the bottom of the sea. She saw the prince about to drown with his flute sinking beside him. She quickly embraced him and brought him to the nearest shore. When the prince opened his eyes a while later, Aria, the mermaid, made sure he was safe and dove back into the sea. During her days in the underwater kingdom, she never let go of the flute he had played and couldn't stop thinking about him. But one day her father Poseidon saw the flute and told her to stay away from the world of humans. Aria didn't listen to her father. She wanted to see the prince again as soon as possible, so she came up with a plan and went to the sea witch. She told the witch, "I want to live in the human world and spend my days with the prince. Please give me a pair of legs." The sea witch didn't miss the opportunity and made a deal with her. She said she would give her legs to walk freely in the human world, but in return, she must give up her voice. Aria accepted the deal right away, even though it meant losing her voice. The witch gave the little mermaid a bottle filled with potion. Aria drank it quickly and swam toward the surface. As she rose, her fishtail disappeared and was replaced with a pair of legs. When she finally stepped on land, it was hard to walk, but soon she managed to walk like a human. Filled with joy, she ran toward the prince's palace. She finally saw the prince, but there was another girl beside him. And she was a princess the prince was going to marry in 3 days. Aria was so heartbroken that she wanted to return to the underwater kingdom. But that was impossible, because she no longer had a voice or a fishtail. As she sat sadly by the sea, The prince noticed her red hair. He quietly approached her. He told her she was the girl who saved him. "I searched for you everywhere but couldn't find you. Tell me, where have you been?" he asked. Though Arya was happy the prince recognized her, she couldn't utter a single word. The prince was ready to open his heart to Arya, but didn't know what to do with the silent little mermaid. At that moment, King Poseidon learned what the sea witch had done to his daughter and stormed off to confront her. He destroyed all her potions with his magical trident. He imprisoned the witch and told her she would remain locked away forever. Then he quickly swam toward Arya. At that moment, the prince was about to give up on Arya and head back to his palace, when he saw foamy waves forming in the sea. Arya knew these waves belonged to her father Poseidon and was very surprised. She feared that if her father appeared, he would be very angry, and she would never see the prince again. Then Poseidon rose in all his glory above the sea. The prince was left speechless. Poseidon looked at Arya and said, "I've come to help you, my daughter." He lifted a large seashell in his hand and chanted some magical words, returning Arya's voice from inside the shell. The prince couldn't believe his eyes and didn't know what to do, as he had never seen sea people before. He felt lucky to witness such a moment. At last, Arya got back her soft and delicate voice. Her first words were, "I'm sorry, Daddy. I should have listened to you." Then she turned to the prince and said, "Yes, I was the one who saved you. I was once a mermaid." At that moment, the prince fell in love with Arya the mermaid. He said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. And Arya agreed to live with him forever. King Poseidon and the prince's father always supported the couple in love. The love of the little mermaid and the prince was told for centuries, both on land and at sea.